Good evening, everybody. Current time is 7:38 p.m. It's a beautiful Saturday evening out there. We do have a new warning that was just issued. It is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of southern Sanilac County. This is going to be a warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and there is no current hail threat with this storm. Now, the heart of the storm is between Port Sanilac and the Sandusky area, just north of Croswell and Lexington. Looking at velocity, there's not really much here to talk about, so to speak. So I can't really pinpoint where exactly the wind is happening, just because there's nothing really here on radar suggesting that the winds are of intensity of severe. So the heart of the storm is directly over Applegate, where the purple color is kind of mixing in there. That's where I have to assume the worst of the winds are at this current time. So anywhere in the yellow polygon, though, we're going to treat this as a 60 mile per hour wind potential. So Lexington, M25, Croswell, Applegate, Speaker, Peck along M90, M25, M19 as well, down toward Melvin. Southern Sanilac County is the only area in this warning. Outside of this county is warning. There is no other severe storm warning in effect for the state. This is the only one currently. If we zoom out, though, we have a line extending from Sandusky all the way down to about Coldwater, and that line is extending almost complete. It's not completely together, but for the most part, it is kind of hooked together here, all the way down from Coldwater up to about that Sandusky Croswell area. It is slowly pushing its way to the east here at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So back down here in Washtenaw, as well as southern Oakland counties, there's some gustier winds down here that are statemented. We could see pockets of 40 or so mile per hour winds with this line. But otherwise, there's nothing severe with these storms. It's just some general garden variety storms with some gusty winds. So back up here to this storm, we're tracking this just issued warning here from the Detroit National Weather Service. Again, this is a warning in effect until 8 o'clock Eastern, so 20 minutes. It's a pretty short fused warning. This is going to be 60 mile per hour winds, and it says severe thunderstorms are located along a line extending from Port Sanilac to near Croswell to Melvin, moving east at 35. Your hazard is 60 mile per hour wind gust. Your source is radar indicated. Hail is less than penny size in diameter. And again, looking at the velocity on this, I really don't see any increase of reds that would indicate, hey, this is our pocket of damaging winds here. I have to just kind of assume that this is likely producing gusty winds along the leading edge of this line from about Port Sanilac down to Lexington, perhaps down toward the Brockway area, on the leading edge or just ahead of this line. So once this moves onto Lake Huron, it'll be a pretty quick threat. There's nothing else here that I would suggest is looking severe at this time. There's a couple areas, like I said, of some pockets of gustier winds, perhaps 40 mile per hour, but nothing that suggests severe is occurring at this current time. Monroe, if these storms do hold together, yes, Lenawee County, Monroe County, Wayne County, Macomb County, potentially being impacted by this line here. Currently, this line is extending from southern Oakland through Washtenaw, back through northern Lenawee, northern Hillsdale, and northern central Branch County. Animating this line is moving pretty much east, maybe a little bit south with time, but mostly east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. And then up here, St. Clair County could get brushed. Sorry, not St. Clair, but the northern part of Macomb County, and then obviously St. Clair County, and then parts of Sanilac County getting brushed by this line up here. And if you are in the Lake Orion area in the northern part of Oakland County, you are technically lucking out, so to speak. The storms are kind of split and went around you. So that is the current situation across the state. There is currently nobody chasing. This was a unexpected warning, and we may have Brandon actually. He's in the air. I'm going to check Brandon. No Brandon. He's the only chaser we have in the Thumb area currently. We do have cameras up there as well in Imlay City, but nothing nearby. So if you're behind this line on the west side of Michigan, your radar is pretty much clear. Same goes for northern lower, and same goes for the UP. There is some showers up here in the Petoskey area, but nothing that would stand out to be strong in that nature. But otherwise, if you're behind this line on the west side of the state, no threat for you guys tonight in terms of any rain or storm activity. So yeah, if you're in Monroe County, Wayne County, Lenawee County, this line is moving to the east. And if it holds together and continues, that will make it into your neck of the woods. So yes, pay attention to your western skies over the next couple hours here as this line progresses eastward as the evening goes on. Back up here to this warning. I'm honestly a little shocked. I'm going to go and take the Cassett radar. Maybe the Cassett, the Canadian radar, gives us a better idea. Even this radar is a little... It doesn't really suggest severe winds are occurring, so I'm a little confused. I wonder if they got like a report from a chaser or a mesonet in the area that suggested that severe winds were occurring with the storm, because right now I don't see much that would indicate that is the case. Bottom left corner is our closest camera in Imlay City. This is facing south. You can see the backside of that storm there, but otherwise that is the closest camera we have to this area. You got Ben in chat. He's one of our chasers. Severe threat today is quite minimal. This was the only warning so far today. We've had several statements, these blue boxes, that indicate stronger storms are occurring with small hail and gusty winds that are not severe. But otherwise, no, there is no other severe warnings issued today. And while it's not impossible we get another one here, it's kind of unlikely. A new statement coming in. Go ahead and take a peek at that. Looks like it's going to be for this line out ahead to the south. Yes, they're going 40-mile-per-hour winds and pea-size hail. That statement's in effect for an hour and 15 minutes. That blue box just popped up. Brockway, Capac, Columbus, Oxford Township, Armada, Memphis, Richmond, New Haven, Casco, St. Clair, and of course Port Huron, all the way up here toward the Lakeport area. Get that posted here quick. I'm a one-man show again tonight. But good news is we're not expecting this to be a long event. This is probably going to be a quick stream. I don't see anything else on the radar at this current time that suggests another severe storm is going to occur. Like I said before, there's a couple pockets here in Washtenaw County with some brighter velocity showing up that could get some gustier winds between 30 and 40 miles per hour. But otherwise, they're localized in nature, and nothing is suggesting these are severe. Up here, so I'm not seeing that either with these storms, truthfully. The threat today for anything tornadic is very, very low. We did see a storm earlier over in Kalamazoo, Van Buren County. It did try to rotate, and that's because it tried to latch on to what's called a surface boundary. And that boundary can create lift and enhance shear locally. And it tried for about 20 minutes to produce some rotation, but it was not successful. Yes, that statement is for northern Macomb and then most of St. Clair County. Unless you're down here by Algonac or Marine City, you are not in that statement. Otherwise, St. Clair County is in that blue box, and that's where your statement is. There's your zoomed out look. Animated for you. New statement. They're going to blanket all these storms, it looks like. A new statement incoming for Livingston, Macomb, Oakland, Washtenaw, and Wayne County. That's a ginormous statement. They're going to go with 40-mile-per-hour winds with this line. So, okay, so basically, if you're out ahead of this line wait for the box to pop up. You'll see it. There it is. It was not as big as I thought it was going to be. But this is going to be for downtown Detroit, Warren, Livonia, Canton, Taylor, Novi, Wixom, Southfield, and Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti, down to about Milan. This is going to be a new statement here for 40 mile per hour winds. So again, statements are not severe. They are a step below severe. 58 mile per hour or higher is your status for severe, and we are not close. We are 40 miles per hour. Now, up here in the southern part of Sanilac County, this is going to be a severe warning, the only one in the state for the storm. I assume that is just now exiting onto Lake Huron, just south of Port Sanilac. They're saying wind gust up to 60 miles per hour is your main hazard with this storm. So if this storm is producing severe winds, I think the worst of it up here in Port Sanilac is onto Lake Huron. But down here by Lexington, Croswell, Applegate areas, and then Blue Water Beach, you could still be getting some wind gust here next couple of minutes as this line still progresses. With these lines, you can sometimes get outflow boundaries that push off and out ahead. So the actual wind gust is like a mile or two ahead of the rain. So that's what I'm kind of basing it off of. So perhaps the worst of it is off of shore here onto Huron, but if there's still an outflow boundary out ahead of this, it could still be impacting or about to impact areas like Lexington. Anybody from the southern part of Sanilac in this yellow polygon, anybody have reports of damage or strong winds occurring? I'd be curious to know. Right now, I don't see any indication on radar, but as we know from previously, the Deckerville tornado, that occurred under the radar. So there is potential here that the wind gusts are just not being able to be seen by our radar software. On the bottom left of your screen there, the Imlay City camera, courtesy of Valley Farms. You can see the cloud tops there are being illuminated by the setting sun, making it nice and whitish yellow color. It's very picturesque. Niagara Falls, Canada. You're watching from Niagara Falls? That's crazy. Welcome into the channel. Wind is quiet in Riverview. I'm in Applegate. It's past us now. Sunny, rainbow out now. Yeah, not surprised. That sun is nice and shiny on the back side. So yeah, if you're on the back side of these lines, you could definitely see some good rainbows here. They continued this warning for the southern part of this line. So they're basically saying that, hey, the winds are still likely gusting here on the leading edge. So again, Croswell, Lexington, you're on deck. Be prepared just in case if the storm is producing winds, it'll be on top of you here next 5 to 10 minutes. Current time is 7:51 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday evening. My name is Ryan. We are live 24/7, 365 for any severe warnings, and we just so happen to have a surprise one here this evening, and that prompted us to go live. How long before the storms reach Comerica Park? That is a great question. One of our staff members is there tonight. He is attending the game. You probably have, I'll go ahead and animate this. If these storms move in about 30 or so miles per hour, you probably have about 45 minutes to about an hour in Detroit before these storms reach you. So I would say by about 8:30 or so, they'll be on top of you. It's a nice, it's not a squall line by any means. It's not really producing severe wind gusts, but it's a long line that extends 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 9 counties. Obviously, there's a break up here by Lake Orion in Oakland County here, but otherwise, it's pretty much filled in from about the thumb all the way back down toward the Indiana border. So not too often we get these big lines, but the good news is the wind shear today, as well as the instability, is just not supportive of widespread or significant severe weather. We do have cameras out ahead of this line that is moving through Lenawee County, including my house. In fact, there appears to be a shelf cloud. Oh, here we go. Got me excited now. This is my house. I could go out my window and look at this if I wanted to. But this is looking northwest here, and you can see on the image, you got the sunset shining through on the leading edge of this. But over here, there is a shelf cloud that's likely going to come into view here. I'm curious if we cycle through this to our Tecumseh camera, courtesy of J-Bar Hobbies. There you go. So one of our newest cameras installed last week. Actually, this week. No, last week. Tecumseh, looking right in downtown Tecumseh there. That is the shelf cloud passing over downtown Tecumseh right now. So for those of you, for reference, my house is probably 5 minutes to the east of here, looking towards the shelf cloud. And this is actually a good teaching moment too. So this is a shelf cloud that indicates that there could be some gusty winds with this storm. All it is basically cooled air that gets forced up and out of a storm. But if you look on the underside here, it kind of looks blue, and it kind of looks like a patterned cloud type. That is called whale's mouth. You'll hear our chasers say that quite often. Looks like whale's mouth, and this is exactly what whale's mouth is. It's underneath a shelf cloud. It can look like rotation at times, but mostly it's just sinking air. These types of clouds cannot produce tornadoes. So shelf clouds cannot produce tornadoes. But very, very picturesque here, courtesy of J-Bar Hobbies, downtown Tecumseh. Now again, if I move back over my camera, I'm looking directly straight at this. So this is your shelf cloud that's directly over that J-Bar Hobbies camera, moving my direction. So this is kind of cool. You can kind of see the storm as it progresses. Anyway, a little bit of a teaching moment there. Back to the radar. That storm is basically on top of Tecumseh here. And then you can kind of see our camera markers, the red little dots there. Those are our cameras. So if you see a red dot on the radar here, that's just everything we labeled. We have down here Blissfield, we have Adrian, we got Hudson, Tecumseh, Britain, Dearborn, Riverview. Like, we got tons of these cameras. It's crazy. But otherwise, this storm is moving to the east-southeast at about 35 miles per hour. It looks like it could be a little gusty there, 30-mile-per-hour winds or so at most in northern Lenawee. Here in Washtenaw, could see a couple pockets of 30 to 40-mile-per-hour winds. Same thing goes for northern Wayne County and the southern part of Macomb and Oakland counties. And then obviously that severe warning continues up here in, Sanilac County for 60-mile-per-hour winds heading into Lexington, Croswell areas, Bluewater Beach, and Amador. I'll probably butcher that, but that's what I'm going to call it for now. We'll go ahead and just zoomed out, and we'll just leave it here, and I'll go ahead and pop open I was debating whether to put on full screen camera here in Britain or just do the split screen. You guys tell me. Do you want to see the radar full screen, or do you want to see the camera in the bottom left full screen? Let me know. There's not too much going up on radar here to track. It's just a line that's progressing through. No area in this line looks more impressive than the other. So, cam full says little fireman. Camera. Okay, anybody else want to chime in before I switch to the camera? Just heard loud thunder with blue skies. You probably have a storm close by. Camera, radar. So I have 3 cameras, 1 radar. Yeah, you can definitely hear thunder with blue skies. There's probably a storm within about 20 miles of you. Sometimes you can get bolt from the blue, as they call it. If the anvil of the storm is tall enough, it can strike well ahead or behind a thunderstorm. I got like 8 cameras and 1 radar. Hail in these storms, yes, there are pea-sized hail at best. All right, you guys voted. I will switch it over here to the camera. And I do want to check out the Tecumseh camera again just one more time before I just take mine full. Just because Yeah, there you go. There's your leading edge of the shelf cloud there, and then there's all that whale's mouth. Now, if you are in Tecumseh and you're looking up at this, you're probably going to see a lot of turbulence, a lot of movement underneath that shelf cloud. A lot of people see that and mistake it for rotation, but it's not. It's just turbulence. A lot of it's just sinking air. Also want to take note that the sunset behind this storm is illuminating this orangish yellow color. This is a beautiful, beautiful picture here. So again, courtesy of J-Bar Hobbies here in Tecumseh. This is amazing. But I think I want to take back my camera now, as this is going to move over my house here very soon. Again, this storm in Lenawee County is not severe. The winds in Tecumseh there, as that shelf cloud moved over, that'd be the heaviest of winds. And it really didn't show much in the way of anything gusting in that location. So I would believe, if I can find it, where to go. You have so many cameras up, it's crazy. Where is Tecumseh? There it is. Yeah, the winds there are pretty calm. So that's good news. They're going new severe warning now. A little surprised that they're doing this, unless they're getting reports that I just don't know and don't see. Let's go ahead and take back the Britain camera, and I'll go ahead and leave that in the bottom corner, take back the radar. I'm not seeing anything that suggests severe weather is occurring with this line here. Maybe a little bit of a pocket here up by Brockway getting a little bit more intense now, but still, we're only getting like 42 miles an hour on radar. So that's interesting to say the least. But new warning now. It's going to be for the very far northern part of Macomb County and parts of St. Clair County down to about Casco, Marine City, up to the county line of Sanilac. This includes Port Huron, Columbus, Memphis, Armada, Richmond, St. Clair, Kimball, Lakeport, and Gardendale areas. 60 mile per hour winds is your only hazard. So they're saying that these winds along the leading edge of this storm in St. Clair County is likely pushing severe limits. I do not have any confirmation on radar of that happening, but they also could have spotter reports telling them, or they could have like weather stations measuring wind gusts, and we just haven't got those reports yet. So we're going to go ahead and say hunker down inside if you live in the yellow polygon here. We could see some pretty gusty winds come through in the next couple of minutes out ahead of this line. In the meantime, I got to post this warning. And that is a beautiful shelf cloud there. I'm going to go ahead and take back my screen full as this passes over. This is again in Britain, looking to the northwest here. Gorgeous. Gorgeous shelf cloud. The warning for Sanilac County has expired. So Sanilac County, their warning has now been dropped. No warning in effect for Sanilac. Just now for St. Clair and the very far northern edge of Macomb County. Yeah, that's beautiful. I may try to run outside real quick and grab a picture of this, if you guys don't mind. I'll be right back. Give me like 2. Actually, hold on. I can do this. You guys just switched to my Bluetooth headset, so you guys can still hear me even though I'm about to walk away from my computer. There we go. And I'm back. When you're a storm chaser, you can't pass up seeing a shelf cloud, you know, at your house. You just can't. Again, this is Britain looking to the northwest. Switch back my microphone to my desktop so it's better quality. There we go. Perfect. You guys should be good. What's up, Red? Thank you for your super chat. I see your support there. Welcome. Not welcome, but thank you for your support and your generosity. I also see Tommy, month number 12, EF0 member, only source I use. Thank you, Tommy, for sticking with us. Welcome back to the team. And then Cindy, also back for month number 14. Thank you, Cindy, for your support. So yeah, this is, again, Britain looking to the northwest in Lenawee County. Nice, beautiful shelf cloud is passing over my house currently. And this is not severe, but it could produce some gusty winds, maybe upwards of 30 miles per hour at best. Otherwise, the only severe storm currently in the state is going to be in the very, very far part of northern Macomb County or most of St. Clair County. Columbus, Port Huron, and I almost said Lexington, but Lakeport is the town I was looking for. Lakeport, Atkins, Ruby, Abbotsford areas, Kimball, South Park, Goodell's, Wales Center, Lambs, Smith Creek, Columbus, Rattle Run, Snyderville, Richmond, Memphis, Armada, Adair. Those are your cities in the severe warning. And again, this is going to be your polygon and the radar for that severe warning. Otherwise, we kind of go back down here to the south. My house is right here. You can see the camera is basically right into town. And that's looking right at this line progressing my direction. And we have the airport radar here, which gives us really good data. As you can see, there's really no bright green showing up here. So it's literally just garden variety in nature. But hey, looking at the picture, it's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. It's not too often you get the at-home shelf cloud effect, you know? So, definitely makes me happy. And that sunset behind it is just beautiful. This is going to be Lenawee County, the picture on your screen. And again, that's not severe. It's just beautiful. It's kind of hard to switch cameras and back to radar here just when you have a view like this. Grabbing a screenshot off the camera. That's freaking gorgeous. All right, let's go ahead and head back up. Cindy with a super chat says, thanks for sharing the beautiful view. No problem, Cindy. Thank you for your ongoing support of MSC. You've been a long-time member. A lot of our OGs are here in chat tonight. Appreciate you all. New statement incoming, looks like, for portions of Oakland, Washtenaw, Wayne County. We'll wait for that to pop in here in a second. In the meantime, though, the sunset is going to light up this camera. That's going to be a beautiful view here in a second. But otherwise, back up here to the severe warning, I just want to reiterate that if you're out ahead of this line in Kimball, Memphis, Armada, Columbus, Port Huron, Marysville, up to about Lakeport area, you guys have potential for 60 mile per hour winds heading your direction. The warning's in effect until 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, new statement incoming now. This is going to be for most of Wayne County here. They're going to go wind gusts up to 50 with this line. And I'm curious what they're seeing here to justify 50 mile per hour winds. Radar must not be showing the big picture tonight, because I'm not seeing these winds at severe criteria or even close to it. So does anybody have reports of damage or gusty winds at all? Just out of curiosity. I know up in the thumb region, it's kind of hard to see because the radar beam and the topography up there is it's kind of hard to depict rotation and sometimes wind. So that could be the case tonight. But down here, they're also saying 50-mile-per-hour winds for Wayne County, Canton, Livonia, Dearborn area, and that storm doesn't look either impressive at all either. And also want to take note that if you're at the Tiger game downtown Detroit, this is moving your direction here. And that will be on top of you in about 20 or so minutes. We said 8:30 or so, and that looks to be still on track here for downtown Detroit. I'd say right around 8:30, give or take a few minutes. I want to pop my camera back on the screen bottom left because that is still a gorgeous view with the sunset shining through. Back down here, can't forget our friends over here in Hillsdale, also in Allen, or Coldwater. We have a camera in Allen, and I just want to point out the sunset tonight is going to be a sunset alert here. This is very orange and very beautiful. We'll put it that way. Oh, check that out on Dearborn. There is your Dearborn camera, and there is your incoming shelf cloud, and it appears to be an outflow boundary. So there is another shelf cloud up here in Wayne County. So if you're out and about, look to your west before the storms arrive. You have another shelf cloud up there. I also want to take note, if I can find the Allen camera. There we go. This was just impacted, and now that looks to have a nice glow on the backside of that storm. So this is a beautiful evening. There's Walled Lake. This camera just got impacted a few minutes ago, looking south. Just trying to get a better idea of what's going on here. And there is the Mirestone Ranch camera in Chelsea, getting a good view of the anvil of the storm. It's just a beautiful night. This is a gorgeous sunset. I'm going to put out a sunset alert for this. If you're new to the page here, we do sunset alerts all the time when sunsets are gorgeous across the state. So I think this is a very good opportunity to post it. In the meantime, they'll take it back up here to the severe warning. I'll zoom in just a bit. I'll let that animate. "60-mile-per-hour winds is your hazard in the severe warning. 58-mile-per-hour winds is your criteria for severe. So anything above 58, that's when you get a yellow polygon for severe. Anything below 58, that's when you get a blue polygon for a special weather statement. So if you're in blue, you're not severe. Still a strong storm potentially, yes, but not severe at the current time at least. Keeping a close eye on these storms just because, we're getting reports of some gustier winds here. At my house, I'm not really getting much of anything wind-wise with these storms. Trees are pretty stable here. I want to check out Harbor Beach there. That's another sunset alert going on there. It's crazy. Whoops. There's your Harbor Beach camera. Nice orange. If you're looking to the east and you see thunderheads, it's going to probably glow orange. You can kind of see here on the camera on the right side of your screen. You're going to have some very good picture opportunities here in a few minutes, if not already. I want to check our chasers here real quick, make sure I'm not missing anybody. Negative. All right, back to good old radar. This storm continues to push east at roughly 30 miles per hour. Your hazard is 60 mile per hour winds up to penny size hail. So your hail size for severe is a quarter. We're not quite there for severe hail, but we are there for wind. I think the Dearborn camera is going to be the next closest camera with a view. That's a nice shelf cloud pushing in. Yeah, no one's out chasing today. Today was not expected to be a severe day. I believe a couple people are out and about. Yeah, we got a couple people out there. We got Cody, got Brandon, Christina, and Mike all sending pictures in. But no one was really prepared to go live today for us. Camera bottom left of your screen is in Dearborn. Go ahead and leave that on your screen. Again, the only warning in the state is going to be for northern Macomb and then central, north central St. Clair County. Everywhere else across southeast Michigan, if you're in a storm, you're likely getting some gustier winds, upwards of 30, maybe 40 mile per hour winds close to the Wayne County, Macomb County area. But down Lenawee, Hillsdale, and Monroe counties, those winds appear to be a little calmer. Comerica Park is going to be impacted here probably within the next 15 minutes. There's a bit of a shower that kind of pushed ahead, so it may start raining briefly here before 8:30, but looks like the heaviest is going to hold off until after or just after 8:30. The warning in effect is going to be in effect for a half hour more. 8:45 p.m. Eastern is your time of expiration. Looking on the wind velocity, some gustier winds potentially up in the Lakeport area right now. Otherwise, perhaps down by Atkins, a little bit of a signature there, but not seeing too much that sticks out to me on the radar currently aside from that Lakeport area. And showing you guys what I'm talking about. The brighter reds, or sometimes greens, but in this case reds, indicate that the brighter reds indicate some heavier winds are possible. Radar indicating 40 or so mile per hour winds in the heaviest of the reds. So it's not sticking out, you know what I mean? Hitting Memphis right now, sky turn odd color. That's going to happen with the sunset. It's not uncommon. Don't be freaked out by it. Yellow skies and wind in Clyde, St. Clair County. How heavy are your winds? We do not have a camera over in St. Clair yet, but we are working with somebody potentially to get cameras installed in the future. So hopefully we'll have something to kind of show you guys in the future, but today is not that day, at least in this area. Warning has been continued for 60 mile per hour winds. They trimmed it back. Same areas, but now we can clear areas like K-Pac and Brockway from this warning, which is good news. Yeah, hail is not a huge concern tonight. It could get some small hail, peas, dimes, maybe pennies at most. But for the most part, it should just be a gusty wind threat. This is likely an outflow boundary on your screen currently. That's a shelf cloud. It looks very outflowish, which basically outflow boundaries are outflow winds from a dying storm that get pushed out, and that can create gusty winds, but also a source of lift and sometimes extra shear for storms as well. In this case, you have a very elevated shelf cloud, as I would call it. This is in Dearborn. I also want to check out just a beautiful evening. This is the Mirestone Ranch in Chelsea, looking south, and you can just see the anvil of these storms. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Harbor Beach, nice sunset going on there. Grand Blanc Apex Restoration Camera looking south there. That's beautiful. Like you can't beat these types of evenings. And it's Fire Sunset over here at Electronic Tech Solutions camera in Riverview. This is downriver area facing west, obviously, in the sunset. And then we just have so many cameras with great views. The Imlay City camera, like this is just, I'm gonna have to do like a compilation of all the shots tonight from these cameras because this is gorgeous. There's just way too many just to kind of scroll through. It's beautiful out there. Anyway, back to the radar. There we go. Down here in Detroit, down into Lenawee County, storms are over Livonia and Canton area, heading toward Dearborn Heights and Taylor, as well as downtown Detroit, as well as Warren. Down here, Lenawee Monroe County, Milan being impacted. Tecumseh about to be rained on here. Onstead, Rollin, Pittsford, Hillsdale, and Reading all about to be impacted. On deck, we have Hudson, Cambria, Adrian, Britain, Dundee, Blissfield, up through the Maybe area. Bit of a gap here by Ypsilanti. And then up here again, we just mentioned off Livonia, Dearborn Heights, Dearborn, Taylor areas on deck here in Wayne County. Those are not severe. The storms up in Wayne County could be gusty in nature. Bottom left of your screen, that's the storm that's currently statemented. We'll see how the winds look here in a few minutes as the storm passes over the camera. But for right now, let's keep our focus up here on the severe warning in St. Clair County. This is moving pretty slow now. It's over Memphis, heading toward Columbus, and Kimball next, up toward the Gardendale area. Port Huron is on deck soon, as well as St. Clair, if this storm continues on its southeast track. Here in Ypsilanti, need some rain, and unfortunately, it looks like it split you. You got some sprinkles there, but for the majority of you, it's kind of split between you. I do know that today is college move-in day for EMU as well as EMIS. I believe it's both big colleges, U of M and EMU, both moving in today. So not a bad thing. It's staying primarily dry for those college kids up there. How is Belleville looking? You guys are dry for the most part. Just some sprinkles. It's going to kind of split you guys too. Same thing goes probably for Romulus as well. There's a nice gap here between these showers and storms that nothing's really happening. So nice lightning there in the bottom left of your screen. Got a picture here from one of our chasers. I'm going to post on the page real quick. He is going to be in the Dundee area. Nice shelf cloud there. I'm going to get that up on the page as quick as I possibly can. Okay, that's posted. Again, I'm one-man show tonight. Staff, Chandler's up in Grand Blanc. Joel is AFK. So I'm just kind of doing things solo tonight. Good news, though, is it's not a widespread threat. It should be a pretty short-lived threat, truthfully. I'm kind of surprised this is warned. I'm kind of surprised the first storm was warned, honestly, but I'm not the expert. NWS is. They obviously had confirmation or reasons to warn these storms, so they went ahead and did that. But from my perspective of things here on the radar products I use, the winds with these storms are less than severe criteria. So I'm still waiting on anybody here in chat. Anybody impacted by these storms up in like St. Clair, Sanilac counties, damage or gusty winds at all? I'm still curious. I've not seen any reports of damage or, you know, videos of anything. So I'm just kind of curious what's actually happening up here. No rotation with these storms. Nope. I will look, though, just to ease your mind. No, I don't see anything with this. Is Van Buren Township or Belleville getting severe storms? No. You guys are going to get split by the line. The only severe storm is to your north up in St. Clair County. For reference, that's to your north a good ways. So Belleville's down here, and you're looking way up here in this yellow polygon for your severe storm. If you notice the lines that are going north of you and south of you, this moves this way, this is going this way, and you're just going to miss between two here in Belleville, Ypsilanti area. So you should be good for the night. I can't get... Check this out. That is insanity. Yeah, if you're in the backside of the storm, a lot of rainbows. That's for sure. But this, on your screen currently, I'm going to screenshot this if you guys don't mind. There's a way to do this. I know there is. Huh, I thought there was a way to screenshot, but I guess there's not. So I'm going to do it manually. Back to the radar here. The severe warning continues. In effect for 19 more minutes. All right, that is a gorgeous. I can't say that enough. That's just like a dragon's breath, breathing fire. It's really weird. It's cool. Anyway, this storm continues. to progress to the east toward Port Huron, as well as Marysville and St. Clair areas. No, I just use my screenshot on my keyboard, but I thought within our streaming software there's a way to screenshot something, but I think there is. I just couldn't find it, so I didn't want to miss that the view, so I went ahead and just did it manually. And that is posted on our page, by the way. So, all right. Check on the velocity here again. Not much here to write home about. Let's check our hail tracker there. Not much to write home about there. Let's check our CC. A little bit of hail core there, just north of Columbus, just west of Kimball, perhaps. Looks like probably dime or penny size for sure. Yeah, zooming out here, there's your radar for zoomed out look of things. It is now 8:30, and the storms are knocking on downtown Detroit's door. So if you're at the Tiger game, you're about to be impacted by this line. Likely going to have a delay there, if I had to guess. Speaking though, I want to hit the, holy cow. It is a sunset alert night, for sure. It's just so hard to not scroll through these cameras. We have so many of them giving us great views. Like, it's insane. Looks like the best one is going to be Mirestone Ranch. But as that line progresses over Dearborn, this should technically be the gustiest part of the storm. As you can kind of see, the trees are swaying there in the distance, but it's not really gusty, at least not yet. We'll come back to this. But right now, it's all good there. This camera here at the Mirestone Ranch in Chelsea, very pink bubblegum-like sunset ongoing here. Oh, Tigers won? Perfect. So the game's over. So no delays there. Love it. Yeah, there's no rotation on radar. We'll check again, though, just to make sure. I don't want to miss anything. But let's go ahead and go through the radar. Start down here in Lenawee. My phone's going nuts for some reason. Nothing in Lenawee. Up here in Wayne County, nothing in Wayne County. Let's go ahead and switch back over here to Detroit's radar. There's just not much to talk about with these storms. Up here in the thumb, St. Clair County, there's nothing. So yeah, no rotation on radar. In fact, I'd say it's struggling to really hold severe criteria on radar. So we'll see if they cancel this warning early or if they continue it. It is a monsoon in Livonia. Not surprised by that. I would say on Dearborn camera is roughly 30 or so mile per hour winds. Enough to relocate your trash can, but not enough to take down trees or cause damage to anything. Ooh, nice lightning going on now. Looks like there's a bit of a concentrated hail core now developing just west of Kimball. Has our hail tracker updated? It has not. Has our CC updated? I bet there's going to be a little bit of CC drop there, and yeah, there is. So perhaps some smaller hail just west of Kimball, now directly over Kimball. You can kind of see how it moves. So just north of Kimball, likely some hail falling there. I'm going to probably guess dime to penny size at most. So West Tappan, Right along 69 into Port Huron will be this hail core. So prepare, not severe hail, probably not severe hail, but maybe some dime or penny size hail. Nice lightning going on now on camera. It's a good storm. It's a nice, in my opinion, obviously, it's a nice storm to just kind of open your windows and listen to the thunder roll for a little while. You know what I mean? It's one of those nights. But if you're up here in St. Clair County, you need to be inside and away from windows. Ooh, that was a nice bolt that came across the sky. That was cool. But no, you need to be inside away from windows if you're in St. Clair County. In particular, Port Huron, Marysville, Columbus, and St. Clair, as well as Richmond. 60-mile-per-hour winds could be occurring with this little line. So take that into account and prepare and plan accordingly. I do not have any reports of damage or outages in the area from this line, so that's good news. For the most part, things have been pretty tame today. This is the second warning of the day. Back to back, we had one in Sanilac County that prompted our stream, and then this one got issued pretty much as the other one expired. They went ahead and issued this for 60-mile-per-hour winds. And I see for our friends over across the border in Canada, the Environment Canada meteorologists are tracking a severe storm capable of producing strong winds and Toonie-sized hail. Toonie-sized hail. So, if you're in Canada, for Sarnia, Petrolia, Plimpton, Wyoming, Oil Springs areas, you guys are in a warning now per Environment Canada for 60-mile-per-hour winds and roughly quarter-size hail. Take the Dearborn camera full. There is no reason to be scared at all. Not at all. If you're in the warning polygon, as long as you are inside, interior room, away from windows, you are just fine. Always a good idea, though, to go to your basement in a severe or tornado warning, especially in a tornado warning. But some people don't have basements, so interior closet, away from windows. So anything blows your windows out, you're not going to get, glass all over you. That's why it's recommended. Ooh, nice lightning. Yes, these are very gorgeous storms tonight. Looking like the sun's setting, though, so we're losing our coloration of the sky. But about 10 minutes to about a half hour ago, it was just gorgeous. Local fire sirens going off there. Just curious what's going on. The Hudson camera. Unfortunately, the Hudson North camera is down, but Hudson South, this is the underside of that shelf cloud as it moves southward. So you're kind of seeing it move away from the camera, and you're going to see the whale's mouth underneath it here in a few seconds. But that's likely the outflow boundary, and as you can tell, it's not very gusty with it. It's barely moving the corn, so let's go ahead and leave it, I guess, on the Dearborn camera, and we'll just kind of check back as needed. There we go. Take back the good old radar, pop open the heaviest of storm now entering Port Huron, crossing I-94 and I-69 interchange. Kimball is likely getting hail right now, and Port Huron is on deck for that hail core. Marysville as well, about to be impacted. Probably some really strong gusty winds moving into that area. Rattle Run as well as St. Clair on deck. This warning continues for 8 minutes. So hopefully this expires, and in 8 minutes we can pop out of here. Checking back on south, make sure we're not going to miss anything here. Which we are not, that I can tell on radar. Tomorrow is 2 years since August 24th, 2023. That is correct. We do have a video coming out on August 24th, 2023. So stay tuned for that. I do want to take note that now we have some backfilling going on here. As a piece of hair gets in my mouth, that's disgusting. Looking for our storm guard camera, as there is a nice little shower that popped up directly over the camera. Let me try and locate this here. There it is. Nice heavy rain shower there directly over Lake Orion, courtesy of the Storm Guard camera. So now we have some backfilling going on between this line, so that's interesting to see. The severe warning continues for 6 more minutes, expires at 8:45. Technically now 5 more minutes, as it just turned 8:40. Rain is starting to pick up here at the house. I can hear it on my windowsill. Hail is starting. How large, Kayleen? Or Kaylin? There's your animated radar. Sorry, get this a little bit centered so you guys can see yourself over there in Hillsdale County. This line is almost out of the state. Just that one warning in effect that's supposed to be dropped here in about 4 minutes or so. I'm really hoping it does get dropped, because I am ready to pop out of here and enjoy my evening. And maybe go outside in the rain a little bit. Looking at the camera here at my house, it is pouring outside. Not too windy though, but on radar it's going to be raining for quite a while, so good soaking rain. Haven't had that in a while, so it's much needed and much welcomed. Yeah, none of these are quote unquote big storms or, you know, crazy storms. This storm could be producing some strong winds here in St. Clair County, and maybe some small hail, maybe actually some large hail up in the Port Huron area. In fact, the hail core is moving just south of downtown Port Huron as we speak. This basically directly over 94 and 69 interchange, moving into southern Port Huron. So if you're in Port Huron, let us know how large the hail is, especially if you live on the south side of town. Otherwise, hoping that this warning is expired here in 3 minutes. as of course, if it does expire, I'll be watching behind the scenes, just in case something else goes, warned. Dime size. Okay, we got some dime size hail reports up there in Port Huron. Thank you guys in chat. Appreciate you. Not surprised at that at all. Your hail tracker is not, outrageous as we've seen it in the past this year, but definitely just enough to kind of catch your eye there. Let's check on CC. CC kind of gives us an idea of, what kind of objects are flying around the atmosphere. Looks like just over 6994 corridor. It's looking like the worst of it is moving into South Park here along 69 in this general area. The rain is coming down at my house. Hail and Kimball, how large? All right, we'll see what they do here. The warning expires in 9 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5. We'll see what they do. So technically speaking, that warning has now expired. They let it expire as of right now. So we're going to stay live a little bit longer just to make sure they don't reissue it, because they may do so. As of this moment, there is no severe warnings from the state. Wind gusts up to 40 to 50 mile per hour in the heaviest of storms. Right now, the heaviest definitely in St. Clair County. The ones up here in Wayne County, just west of Detroit, they are not looking strong or severe on the airport radar, and neither the ones in Lenawee County, Hillsdale, or Monroe County. So I think St. Clair is the only area here, I would say, that gusty winds are even a possibility. What's going on in Dearborn? Let's go ahead and take a peek at our cameras here real quick. This is the current look in Dearborn, looking like 20 to 30 mile per hour winds there with some heavy rain. Also want to take a look at the Adrian camera, courtesy of Adrian Sign Company, or Adrian Sign and Midas Auto Service. That is the underside of that large shelf cloud, that mean-looking cloud you guys have seen pushing across the state today. And that is turbulent, but it's harmless. At very most, some gusty winds can occur underneath that cloud, but it's more so picturesque, more than it is, something to be concerned about. So. Where'd the Mirestone Ranch go? There we go. Still the backside, still nice looking there. And the Riverview, or the Allcom camera, should I say, courtesy of Allcom in Commerce Township, which is Walled Lake, Wolverine Lake area, facing south. That has a gorgeous view of these storms as well. So we have just an awesome network here, guys, of cameras that Guardian Technologies and our sponsors have graciously provided to us. Amazing. In the meantime, though, current time is 8:47 p.m. My name is Ryan. We have just exited our severe coverage as of the current moment. We do have numerous statements in effect for gusty winds around 40, maybe up to 50 mile per hour in spots. But overall, though, no severe weather is currently occurring in the state. And for right now, I think it's probably safe to pop out, although I'm going to wait a few more minutes just to kind of wait that out and just kind of make sure we're not going to miss anything. Or go pop out and have to pop back on real quick, you know what I mean? So let's just wait it out a few more minutes here. As of right now, though, nothing on radar is looking strong or severe. Nice lightning. I guess you guys can't see that, but I have my camera pulled up in the bottom. There we go. No problem, guys. It's what I do. It's what we do. It's just me tonight, though. You don't have Joel or Drew on. It's just me. All right, well, it is currently 8:49 p.m. I want to start wrapping this stream up here. I'll be watching behind the scenes in the event more warnings are issued, but currently I wouldn't anticipate those being issued. So far, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, the radar hasn't really suggested these storms are severe in nature. I could be wrong on that, and maybe I am wrong. But there's just nothing that just screams severe weather with these storms, to me at least. I haven't seen any outages or damage or, you know, the things you usually see with severe storms. It's just not occurring tonight. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come for the evening. This is the only line expected in the state. So once it's out of Michigan, we'll be good to go for the evening. A couple showers up there in northern Michigan, still hanging around Petoskey area. Those are just general garden variety sprinkles, so to speak. So in the meantime, this is likely going to be it for the evening. So with that said, I think it's time we can pop out of here. What do you guys think? Yep, we're always live here, 24/7, 365, severe and tornado warnings. And honestly, policy change probably incoming. Any special weather statement that has a landspout possible tag, that may likely also trigger us to go live in the future, because in the past it really hasn't. But in the future, we probably will be doing that for some statements as well. So in the meantime, though, I'm going to pop out. You guys enjoy your evening, and I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that we do not go back live. In the meantime, you guys can enjoy the outro. I'll catch you guys later.